Hi, good evening. Welcome to class number 4 of the Sixth Sense. I can feel that your Sixth Sense is developing, and you probably felt that I'm going to be late today. So I saw it wasn't full. It wasn't full yet, the class. I'm sorry, my voice. The Yankee game yesterday. So last time we learned about our ability to have more of the inner insight, and we also learned about Kabbalistic planning of space, which you may call it Kabbalistic feng shui. And I hope that you made use of many of the things we spoke about and that you felt the difference, because it does make a different feeling. When you put things in the right way, there is a different feeling to things, and you feel different in your house or in your office or in your space or wherever it is. Create better energy, better feeling. We learned also to enter into things, right? We spoke about objects, that we will go into an object, right? And we're going to miniature ourselves and go in and feel things. The first thing I'd like to do today is to, first of all, ask you, how was it? I mean, what did you felt? What did you sense? What was like happening? I need some feedback from you to know where I'm taking it from now. So please share. Great. It was that good. I'm amazed. No, I did get all your thoughts. But if you want to say it, go ahead, please say it. Yes, go ahead.
Well, I tried to put myself into a stone table, and it just felt, and I tried not to have an intellectual concept of what it felt like to be in it, but just to kind of feel what it felt like, and it felt like dense and heavy and oppressive, really.
Very nice. What you were saying was very important. The idea that we don't let our thoughts and our logic and our mind to interfere while we're trying to feel, while we're trying to sense things. Not to let it interfere, just to be there. That was the exercise. It was the most important part of the exercise. Anything interesting else that you may experience, please go ahead. You can share in words now. Yes.
Okay. It's about to stop my thoughts, yes, and go inside of me. Or for me it's difficult to stop the thoughts and go inside of me. And if I can go inside of me, I can feel it, what is about everything came from outside in me, yes? And to feel it, that what it came from outside, I'm supposed to stop my thoughts, and I can.
Okay, I understand, and I'm sure that it's a problem that you're not the only one that's experiencing. Stopping the logical process and the thinking process is not an easy one, and that was basically the exercise. I mean, when I shared with you that exercise, it was about to try and to become a little better in it, while for some of us it might be very easy to just stop the thinking, just go into something, sense it. Some of us will find it easier. Some other people will find it more difficult. But practicing will make a difference. So if you can practice in the past week, when I asked you just to every day try to practice that, it was supposed to become a little easier and better, and you will see that if you practice, it will become easier and better, And it has to do with a lot of stuff that we go with, for many, many years and maybe all our life, that we are only into thinking process and only logic. But you have to understand that that's how the opponent get a hold of us. That's how the opponent takes the best of us. Because we all can sense. And we can all go into things and we can feel them. And we can feel even what the maker of that table or that furniture or that book, did with it or thought when they made it. We would be even able to sense that. We would be even able to sense what people were thinking while they were living in that specific house. Okay? I will talk about other things in that nature probably later on. About houses, and we spoke about cleaning houses, and from negative energy. We spoke about it last time, right? About cleaning it and bringing a Zohar in. I can just share with you that one of the most incredible experiences that I had with that matter was in one house that someone just bought. A huge house with huge backyard, huge. It was few acres somewhere in New Jersey, and the wife said she's not moving in. She said there's such bad energy, she's not moving in. And her husband, like very successful businessman, said to me, "Moshe, please do me a favor. Come on. You come and you tell my wife that it's nothing, please." I said, "Sure, I'll come, and if there is something, many times I cleaned houses, and I came with, as we spoke, sage and other things, and no problem, don't worry." So I came, and I realized it might be a serious situation, so I didn't bring like those few branches of, sage. I brought a pot, I brought a pot, and when I entered that house, I realized that the pot was very needed, because it was like one of the most negative places I ever entered in my life. I don't know what was there. But it wasn't a brand new house. They just bought it, but it wasn't a brand new house. And it was a beautiful house on the outside, but inside it was dark, like pitch dark. From an energy point of view. And I fill up the pot. I light it and start to walk around the house. Ana b'koach, ana b'koach. There was so much smoke that you couldn't even see a few feet away. When we opened the windows, to let the smoke out, the neighbor thought that there was fire. There was that much smoke. And I said, "Look, we did whatever we can. We went through the process. Now we'll bring the Zohar. We put the Zohar on the fireplace, inside the house, in the main living room. We put it on the fireplace." I said, "Whatever we did. Let's see what happened." So we left. The next morning, the husband called me, shaking, shivering. He says to me that across from the Zohar, that wall across, when he came in the morning, there was a hole. Like someone punched the wall, but not from the outside, from the inside out. He said to me, "Moshe, forget about the house. I'm selling it. I don't want to move in." I said, "At least we made some difference for the next buyer, the next owner." But it was one of the experiences I had with, talking about sixth sense, cleansing houses. I just wanted to share it with you. All right. Something from you? Anything else? Yes?
Well, I actually cleaned up my plate and I saged it, and then I put the water there, and then I was gone the whole day, and I came back at night, and I felt like it was kind of lighter.
Yes, that's the feeling.
I even felt like my feet were lighter.
Yes, you feel lighter, and that's very good, because that is the feeling. I just wanted to warn you, don't do it in apartment buildings, that are high rises and stuff. I did it once in Manhattan. 8 fire trucks came. All the smoke was sucked under the door into the entire building. They didn't figure it out until today where the smoke came from. But if you do it in apartment building, put some wet towel by the door so the smoke would not be sucked out into others, and make sure the smoke alarm doesn't go off. You don't need all those fire trucks, But anyway, so that's good. Yes. The smoke, just you make the smoke, and after it's there, you then open all the windows. That's it. We spoke about it last time, so yeah. Okay, so today I'd like to share with you two things. I'd like to share with you what is required of us to achieve the sixth sense. That's one thing. And the second thing I'd like to share is how do we elevate ourselves to the next level in our ability of our sixth sense. What will be the next stage? Okay? And you have to understand we are in the fourth class, but I need you to practice. Last time, I hope you practice with, what we try to do to sense, in objects. Today I'm taking it to the next level, but I need you to practice every day now, the next week, so we can then next week go into some more serious stuff, maybe the ultimate stuff of sixth sense, all right? Which will be the aura, seeing the aura, and then maybe even connecting to angels and to Elijah the prophet, okay? And then we'll complete our course. But first of all, what is required of us to be successfully developing our sixth sense? That's first. It's basically to become more light-like. The light is something that is unlimited. The light has everything in it. That is from time perspective, meaning tomorrow, yesterday, it's all there at once. So from that point of view, the ability to sense tomorrow or next moment is not something that only contribute to being psychic or being born that way. We can all feel things before they happen. We can all suddenly decide to stop before the intersection, and then a crazy mad person cross it in red light and we could just get killed. But we all can sense things that are about to happen. If it's today, next minute, next hour, next day, next week. Okay? So we all have it as long as we connect to the light and becoming light-like. What does it mean to be light-like? Okay? What does it mean to be unlimited? Unlimited in sensing things, in seeing things, in hearing things. What does it mean? We need, first of all, when we deal with subjects that are beyond the five senses, and beyond the physical, and beyond the 1% reality, because on the 1% reality, we might be very good and very successful. We need, first of all, ask ourselves a few questions. Why do we want to be able to do that? It sounds amazing and so exciting to know tomorrow. But we have to ask a simple question first. Why do we want to talk to the light? Why do we want to be able to communicate with the light? What would we like to ask if we would have that communication with the light? If we could speak with the light and ask any question we want, what would you ask? Maybe we didn't even thought about that. It's like, you have, and it happens many times, you have your meeting with your teacher. You come to Kabbalah 1 and you study Kabbalah. Now you have a meeting one-on-one with your teacher. Imagine that you could meet Rav Berg, Karen Berg, and you get half an hour of their time or 1 hour of their time, they're yours. Many times you find yourself sitting there and saying, oh my God, I don't know what to ask. Right? It's like everything suddenly goes away and all the things that you wanted to ask suddenly vanish and you don't remember a thing. It's such an embarrassing feeling, But at that moment you kind of like bathing in the energy, in the good energy that these people have, and you forget all the questions. So if you could communicate with the light and you have so many questions to ask, would you be able to do so? Then, would those questions be the right ones? Or just those that you say to yourself, what am I even asking? I mean, this is so unimportant. Forget about it. So before we even getting there to communicate, we need to ask ourselves, what do we really want to ask? Or what kind of help do we really need? I mean, sometimes we think about it, is that really what I need? Is that the help I would ask from the light? Or I can handle it myself, or I know exactly what I need to do to accomplish this. If I meet the light, if I would have a chance to communicate with the light, would I ask the light, which stock should I invest in? Is that the question you want to ask the light? Which stock should you invest in? Or something else? So we need to first ask ourselves, what do we want? When you came to this course, the Sixth Sense course, what did you think that you're going to get? That you're going to get God's cellular number, cell phone number, or his Facebook or his Twitter? I mean, it wouldn't be maybe interesting to know what God is thinking about, where is he going, what is he doing now? But is that exactly what we wanted to get? And if that is what we wanted to get, maybe we should rethink about it and readjust ourselves. Kabbalah teaches us that the light of the Creator is all about something that is complete. Complete fulfillment. That's what the light is all about. It's a complete fulfillment with no lack. When I mentioned before no limitation, it means to be totally fulfilled. Not in one way, but in many, many ways. What it means is something that we call in Kabbalah Keter. You heard the word Keter. But what Keter represents is an undifferentiated level. It represents something that has no space, empty space in it. Something that has no separation. Something that has no fragmentation. That has no fight in it. No anger in it. No hatred in it. No separation from anybody. No divisions. Everything is equal. Even though there are many levels, they're all equal to each other. That's when we talk about Keter, that's when we talk about the light. So, to be part of it, you need to ask yourself, are you that way? Meaning, are you a person that is friendly with everybody? Are you a person that have unity with everyone? Are you a person that always feel happy with what you got? That happiness is always a feeling you have, even though maybe you didn't get what you want? Are you respecting everyone and treating them equally? Because if not, you then know immediately that there is no good reason for you to be able to communicate with the light. So if you want to be connected to the light and not to be burned by it, because you can connect to a tremendous amount of light by sticking your fingers into the electric socket. There's a tremendous amount of light, but you won't be able to handle it. And the same goes for the sun. So many people want the light. They want the energy of what the light represents. But look, for example, now we enter 3 weeks, right? 3 weeks that are more intense light. But instead of just grabbing it and bringing it in, we need those sunglasses that we need in a bright, shiny, sunny day to be able to use the light in a balanced way, in a filtered way. So instead of burning us and creating chaos, it would assist us. So we need to ask ourselves these questions. And if we're not there, we need to get more there, closer to that. Because no one of us is perfect. And apparently it won't even happen so soon that we will become perfect enough to be prophets, or to be like Moses, or to be like Rabbi Shimon, or to be like any of those great Kabbalists. But if we step one step further, it's enough for us to already be more connected. And that would mean more communication with the light. The light is not expecting any one of us to be perfect, but it does expect from us to change. And if we are willing to do that, we will have the communication with the light, and our sixth sense would allow it, and it will not burn us. Does that make sense to you? Yeah. So this is very important. And then we will know that it will be the light, and it won't be the opponent. Because sometimes the answers you get might be the opponent. How would you know that it's not? Sometimes the answers that we get are not coming from above. Rather, they come from below. So to have the right one and to be answered to any of the questions we ask, we just need to move a little closer to the light. And for that reason, the Sixth Sense course is not a recipe of making a cake. Take 2 eggs, mix it with a tongue of a lizard, cook it in 200 degrees, and you, abracadabra, got the Sixth Sense. It doesn't work that way. It requires work. And it requires that we will change ourselves in some way. The Zohar and Rabbi Isaac Luria both are warning us about all the quick fix. They even mentioned that there is a way to make a barren woman become pregnant instantly with a talisman. But then there he says in the Zohar that this individual considered like killing another person. Why killing? I just helped this woman to become pregnant. I did the abracadabra thing, and she is pregnant. What's wrong with any method of doing it? So they explained that what's wrong with it is that it was done before time, and therefore the child will die before his time. And then I would be considered more like someone that killed rather than someone that created life. So we don't want to be connected to all this blessing industry. That's how I like to call it. Blessing industry. How today some what's so-called Kabbalists telling you, come to me and I will give you a blessing, and and I'll bless you and everything is going to be okay, and I'll do the instant thing and you're going to be fine. Just drink this or do this or eat this or whatever and everything is going to be okay. In Kabbalah, we learn that that is impossible. There is a requirement of an effort, of some spiritual work that will benefit us with then getting the right answers from the right place whenever we want them, not to be limited to a specific time or place, because then we will be really connected. The main work that we need to have is on our pride. Pride, according to Kabbalah, is the source of all evil. That's the source of all evil. From pride come anger. When you're a proud person, you allow yourself to be angry. You allow yourself to scream at people. You allow yourself to be upset. You allow yourself to be entitled. You demand things. When you have pride, you then allow yourself to be hurt. You allow yourself to hurt others. You allow yourself to judge others. All negative, reactive behavior always emanates when we have pride. So according to the level of pride we have, that will be how much upset we are in life, how judgmental we are in life, how jealous we are in life, how controlling we are in life, how much hurt do we get from others. If we have a lower level of pride and we need to work on it, then we can achieve more, because then we will be closer to the light. You see, the letter that represents pride is the letter Gimel, which is the third one in the Hebrew alphabet, that represents the word Ga'ava. Ga'ava means pride. Lucky me, I'm not giving the Kabbalah 1 today. Not this way. I said, no way. That's the first impression they get. But, you know, that letter, the Gimel, that represents the word Ga'ava, is the only letter of the 22 Hebrew letters that is not present in the 72 names of God. Only for that specific reason. Because you cannot make use of the 72 names of God if you have pride. So, we all have pride though. We all have pride. We all have a certain level of pride. But what is required of us is not to be totally humble, because that takes time and years and practice and a lot of work, but to become a little better, to focus on that and work on ourselves. That's what it requires. Does that make sense? So let me explain to you how pride appears in our life in a more common way. You know, my teacher, the Rav, always used to say that when a person has pride, then that individual think he knows better than God. And I was laughing and I said, you know, the person thinks he's better than God. I mean, who thinks he's better than God? I mean, anybody you think, you would ask them, do you think you're better than God? They would say, no, of course not. I mean, God is God. I'm not God. They either don't believe in God, but if they do, then, I mean, of course they don't think that they know better than God. And especially we are spiritual people here. We work on ourselves. Does any one of us think he's better than God? Yes, we do. And let me explain to you how. You know how many times, there's a message. There's a message. And the message is clear. Yet, when we want to get an answer the way we like it to be, then we never see that message. We never relate to that message. Just recently in the Bible we read about Bil'am, that was one of the most negative people ever lived on this planet, that did horrible things to impure himself. And then, we find him asking God, what should I do? Should I walk? Should I go with those people? Should I go together with them and do what they ask me or not? And God says, go ahead, go with them. Then God get upset at him that he went. And then he stopped him on the way and he almost kills him. And he says to God, would you like me to go back? He says, no, you don't need to go back. You can continue. And then again he's upset at him. I mean, he's asking you, what's wrong with that? I mean, he's asking you, God, what to do. He's asking, yes. But his intention was to do what he wanted to do. So he only wanted to find the right way to get there. If it means that I'm going to ask God, can I go there? Because I really want to go there. But you know what? I'll ask you, God, what do you think, God? Just give me the stamp. Give me the stamp and it's okay. It's like my teachers, they always say that people come to ask them questions about life. And they sometimes come and say, we decided to get married. What do you think about it? Great, go ahead. Do it. What do you expect me to answer? No. You already decided. You already said that you decided. You already said, we thought that we're going to do this and that. So why are you even coming and asking me? Or to get the stamp. I'll give you the stamp. That's what the light also gives us, free will. You want to get just a stamp? Remember, you get the stamp. But then don't blame the light for your misfortune, because you didn't really want to ask. You didn't really come from a place where you wanted to hear what the light wants to tell you. You just heard what you wanted. So we're talking here about getting answers. We're talking here about communicating with the light. You can't have that agenda. You can't have this kind of consciousness if you ask questions the light. It has to be whatever the light wants. If it's the opposite of what I want, I'm ready for the opposite. I'm ready for it. I'm open for it. I'll go for it 100%. Without trying to find a detour to get what I want. That has to be clear. That's how we are smarter than the light. All of us. We do that with people. But we maybe can do it with people. We can do it with the light. Does that make sense? Okay. So, or I can share with you another example of the same thing. How I remember, this woman, this student that was like very humble and didn't want to interrupt anybody, didn't want anybody to go out of their way, and doesn't really know if it may be their way or the way they do things, and therefore she never let anybody know about the funeral of her mother. But then she got very upset that we didn't show up. Come on. Don't be upset if you didn't want to bother us, and you gave us the free will, and you presented it in a way that if we want, we can come, and if we don't want, we don't come. Then why are you upset now? So it's a level of pride that makes all the difference. So pride is also when people feel that relative to others, they are okay. They're not that sinners, they're not really so bad and so evil. They don't feel that way. I feel that I am, compared to others, I'm really doing the right thing and I'm acting the right way. But why am I experiencing so much chaos in life? Because they do have chaos in life. If it's loss of dear ones, if it's no soulmate, if it's, feeling humble, yet things don't work in your way, don't work your way, don't work great in your life. And you think you're humble. Maybe you're not. Maybe it's a pride issue that you got, that you think that way. And maybe more important is not to act in a rude way with others and with disrespect to others, because that is definitely showing if a person have pride or don't have pride. When we deal with the waiter, when we deal with the guy that with the maid, when we deal with people that service us, do we deal with them with total respect, with human dignity? That's the test of pride. That's where we know if we have pride or not. Those that we don't feel, then we need to respect them. That's where pride is. That's how you know. So, when you overcome it, then when someone come and hurt you, so you can be very upset, instead, you let go of the hurt, you let go of the pain, and you move on. And that means that you overcome the pride that you got. And when other people speak bad about another person, you don't accept it unless that person is present while we're talking about him. And you tell others, I'm not interested to hear this, unless you say it in front of that individual. So this is the work we need to do. Some of the work we need to do. Does that make sense? Okay, questions? Yes.
Moshe, my English is not so perfect. I never hear that word pride. What it means, pride. Somebody can explain me in Russian what it means, that word pride? I never hear that word.
Okay. Good that you heard it first time.
No.
Good. Okay. All right. Other questions? Yes.
Well, like, what about, like, what's the difference between pride and self-worth? Like, if someone is, like, you know, not treating you with respect or dignity, like, at what point do you make, like, that person stop? Like, you know, sometimes I feel like you have to be proud. It's hard not to, like, in situations like that, you know, when they're being disrespectful. Like, how would you be, like, what's a good way to...
You know, even the person, you're asking a very good question, because even the person that look like have no pride and look like being stepped over and being taken advantage of, that person have pride too. Because that person have a different kind of pride, a pride that most of us would never think is a pride. But that person also doesn't relate to the light, saying, I'm not worthy of the light helping me. The light doesn't want me, already judging the light. The light neglect me, the light left me behind. I'm miserable. Also, that individual is totally into themselves. How poor I am, how miserable I am, how unfortunate I am. But there's no going out. You know, it's a form of pride you would never think is pride. You know, while pride is something that totally disconnects us from the light, make us different than the light, you know. That person doesn't feel, you know, maybe I deserve it, maybe I did something in previous lifetime, and that's why it's happening to me. That person doesn't think like that. That person still inside feel, why am I suffering so much? Why do I have to go through this? They also feel that way. They just don't do anything about it.
So in the case of, like, someone who's, like, very proud and it's obvious, like, I understand the way of thinking when trying to be like the light, but in the case of this, where you're like, oh man, they're, like, stepping all over me. Like,
so that individual need to think maybe first, maybe it happens because of previous lifetime, but you know what? I have light inside, and that light should not be treated that way, you know, and I can contribute more. So when they speak up, they can contribute more, they can do more for others, instead of feeling miserable and bad about themselves. They can also go out of themselves, and that breaks that pride. It's a weird kind, it's a different kind that most people will never think. It's a form of pride, but it is. Yes?
Deal with cultural differences. For example, especially as a woman, some behaviors are kind of result from a sense of dignity, but other cultures may not take it, as being proud or something like that, especially with women. I think it's
pride can manifest in so many ways, you know. We need to always ask ourselves, you know, what it means for me not to have pride. When you look at culture, we go into a realm that many can translate in many ways. Some people would think this way, some other will think about another way. But when you think about the word human dignity, that makes it more clear, because then you know, is it human dignity or not? You clearly know. So try to focus on that. Okay, I want to leave pride because I don't have that much time. And I want to move into our next level of sixth sense. And if you're still going to have the question, we'll have them later on. Two things that I need to share with you about sixth sense abilities. The first one is listening. The ability to use our listening in a higher form, in a more inner spiritual way, and to get messages to get answers, to see beyond, using our listening abilities. Okay, how do we do that? There's few things. First of all, it required to pay a lot of attention, but in a specific way. I learned from my teachers that every human being carry messages. Everyone. Not only human beings. We learned before that animals carry messengers. Babies carry messages. And answers. Babies, children. Because children and animals don't have the curtains and the blockages we do. More so, people that have no mind are better carrier of messages than logical, intellectual, very smart people that interfere and bring their own opinion into it. So when someone is considered to be, not conscious of what they say or do, they would be better conduits to messages and answers. And they will be able to tell you things that you never expect. The weirdest people could give you the best messages. And when we normally meet them and we take immediately a hike or we go aside because we don't want to interact with them, we might be losing tremendous amount of messages and answers. And when they talk to us, maybe it doesn't make sense and it doesn't sound connected to anything. But if you listen carefully, you might find some messages and answers for your life. Things that bother you at that time could be coming through them. So you want to have that meeting. And when they come to you, you look straight at them. And you try to go beyond their face, beyond their lousy appearance, physical appearance, and go beyond and listen very carefully what they say, or even ask a question. What do you think about such and such? Something that you would never ask such a person. That's one thing. Babies and animals carry also messages. If a baby and animals are coming closer to a person or getting away from a person and don't like a person when he walks into your place, something is not good with that person. Because those babies or the animals have no reason to get away from them unless they don't carry something good. It could be just something temporarily not so good and not the ultimate necessarily. Okay? But that's about that area. But even with people that are conscious of what they say and aware and involved in their words and actions, and they work with you, and maybe you want to find out the truth. Maybe you want to know if they stole something from you. Maybe you want to know if they did that act, betrayed you, cheated you, or if they are helping you and care about you because you're not sure. Or you want to know about anything in life. You just want to know about something. And something is bothering you. You can ask them just any question. Like about the weather. What do you think about the weather? And then listen carefully and only focus, not on what they say. Focus on the message that is about to come to you from the light, that they will carry it. And they will tell you what you want to know. That's another way you use our listening in the form of the sixth sense. Does that make sense to you? Yes.
Why is it like that?
It's like that because we are all conduit of light. Because we are inside creatures of the light. Yes, we do have klipot, yes, we do have layers of negativity, yes. And some people even have more, and some have less. Yes, and sometimes the opponent is totally in control, but the light can come out of them. The light can shine from every individual. That's why they say you can learn from everybody. That's why it says so, that you can learn from everybody. And also everybody says the truth. You just need to listen. You know, there's a story about King Solomon and how he used to know the truth. He used to put a situation in front of people. Like the famous story about the two women that came and claimed that it's their baby. And one of them was not caring that you can cut the baby into half. Of course, that's not the mother. Of course. So a person revealed to you everything in their words. You just need to learn to listen very carefully to what they say and ask yourself, why did they say that? Why is that so important for them? Why their answer is involved with that matter? Why do they use those specific words? That's how you listen. Sometimes you sit in a restaurant and someone is talking to you and you're not sure about something and there's a question in your mind, or there's something that's bothering you, and you hear one voice louder than all the mumbling and bubbling voices around. One voice is louder and it says something. You listen to that and you say to yourself, that's a message for me. That's the sixth sense abilities that we all have, but we don't pay attention to and we don't care about. Questions? Yes.
What about when someone's intoxicated, or, like, for example, a homeless person? I've had the experience of talking to them and listening to the message, but could sometimes drugs or alcohol remove the veil so that they are being more?
Yes, when they are drunk and drugged are more conduit. Because their body is so drugged. Their body, that's why they feel. Why do they feel? Because their body at that moment is being totally disintegrated and totally brought down. There's a cost for it later though. They're going to have to pay for it, because if you do that to the body become deteriorated. You know, because you basically destroy your body in purpose to elevate your soul. But then you'll have to pay a price for it.
So there's not a negativity around them that you should be careful of?
I mean, some drunk people are violent and dangerous, so I would not say that. I would not say you should not be careful about them. But they could be carrying, they will always say, you know, when people get drunk, what do they say? They say the truth, right? Comes right out of them. Because there's no veils, there's no curtain to hold it or to filter it, right? But you don't want to look for just drunk people. Yes.
How do you know, kind of piggybacking on her question, there are negative forces that surround us. And a negative force can attach itself to a person. And usually that person will very often appear to be crazy. So how do you differentiate between a message and maybe something you should definitely stay away from?
So yes, you're right that sometimes there are negative forces involved in people like that. You would have to be able to get the message out. Sometimes will be easier, sometimes will be harder. Sometimes. But listen, you might get something. You might not, but you might get something. So you want to listen. Yes.
Is there like a simple rule to know where the voice, like where the message is coming from? Like if it's like if you ask yourself this question, you know it's the time. Like if you say an answer comes, you go, no, that's a good answer. That's when you know.
As long as it comes from your brain, you know it's the opponent. Always. You know it's always limited. As long as it comes from your brain, as long as it comes from your understanding, as long as it comes from you, It's always limited. It's always the opponent. When it's something that comes and you know it wasn't me, I know it's not me, I know I wasn't thinking about it, I know I didn't figure it out, I don't know where it came from. You know it's outside of you, that's a message. Then you know it's a message, for sure. So what? You won't get negative messages when it's that way. You won't get negative messages. No. Of course, you work on yourself too, so that also contributes to the fact that it's a pure one. Yes.
Sometimes in those kind of instances, you say something that, you know, just it came out, like you didn't have the thought, it just came out, and it's something that hurts the other person. It's something that, you know, it's not kind of good for them.
Right. Of course, human dignity, as we said before, has to be part of it. Sure. There has to be human dignity involved too, of course. That goes without saying. Of course. Of course, if that doesn't exist, you know, the message is not the same. Of course. That goes without saying. Yes.
What about, you said the children, so what if children are also like sponges of information of their environment or whatever, they're sort of brainwashed by your own parents, so sometimes they can say something that's not really what they think, it's something they heard. Is that a message you still kind of make them hear?
When children heard things, they can hear these things or they can hear another thing. They hear the specific thing that maybe is a message for you. Maybe that's what they hear. Okay. I'd like to conclude today with going to a higher level of consciousness and sensitivity and inner ability of us. Okay? Are you ready for it? Good. So I would like to give you an exercise, and we can start with the exercise today. We'll do it now. But I'd like you to repeat that exercise during this week, every day. Okay? So what we did until now, we entered inanimate objects. It was water, it was a table, it was a book, it was inanimate thing. It made it maybe a little easier. Now we want to do it with people. Okay? So what I'd like you to do, I'd like you to face one other person in this class. Okay? Maybe it shouldn't be your wife or husband, boyfriend, girlfriend. Maybe it should be someone you don't know. Okay? So please get up. Choose a person in this room. You can walk in this room for a minute. Okay, please, everybody rise. Everybody, please stand. All right, everybody found someone? Some people are walking here lonely. Get together, please, with some person. Are you speaking with the light? Was that the light? I thought maybe it got connected. So, now, what I'd like you to do is have it, have your turn. Whenever it's your turn, I want you to close your eyes. One of you is going to close his eyes, her eyes. And maybe both of you are going to close your eyes. When we do this, wait. When we do it, both of you are going to close your eyes. But one of you is going to be thinking about something. The first thing I would like you to do is to miniaturize yourself. Like we did with the inanimate. Miniaturize yourself to a size of a molecule. And then I want you to enter this person's body. And I want you to go in. And I want you to, when you go in, to forget about your brain. Forget about your thoughts. Forget about your logic. Don't think. Just go wherever you go. Wherever it takes you. And then I want you to feel. Is it closing down on you? Is there space? Is it warm? room warm and welcoming? Is it cold and pushing out? Is there air? Is there a force pulling you down? Try to sense, not to think. Just let yourself flow there. And after you do that, I'd like you then to try to sense what that other person is thinking about. And that individual you go in will decide what that individual is thinking about. And then, after we do it for a few minutes, you pull out, and then we change. And the other person is thinking, and you go in. All right? That makes sense? Yes. Questions? No talking. No words. The eyes are closed. Okay? Better to do some breathing. Please listen. Please listen. Some breathing before relaxation. Don't cross your arms. Don't cross your leg. Uncross them. Okay? So you're open physically. All right? Yes.
While the other person is like entering, what is the other person supposed to be doing?
Okay, listen. This is a very important question. Are you listening? When the other person is entering, you just need to think about something. That's all. You just need to think about something. And it will be interesting if the other person will be able to pick it up, what you were thinking about. Okay? All right. More questions?
Is the object or feeling?
No, he is the person, not object. You go to the person.
No, I'm saying he's thinking of an
Doesn't matter, whatever the person wants. Okay, quit speaking. Let's begin. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Relax. Few deep breathing. Take a lot of air in through your nose and then exhale slowly through your mouth. Feel more relaxed, more calm. Relax your eyes. Relax your facial muscles, your jaws, your shoulders. Keep breathing. Keep breathing deep. Slowly take a lot of air in and slowly release it and feel more relaxed, more calm, more loose. And now, we'll do it both in the same time, not changing positions, both. Both will be thinking about something and both will enter each other. Both of you enter. So everyone now, miniaturizing yourself to a size of molecule. And we want to enter. Find an opening, a gate, and enter. And start to sense. No thoughts, no logic, no calculation. So we want to go out, back to our size, and please share what you felt.